What's up, rideshare drivers? Welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. Back by popular demand, it's me, the Rideshare Recruiter. First things first, if you guys are considering getting started as a driver, check out the sign up link below, and also check me out on the social medias, the Rideshare Recruiter. Hey, question for you. Have you ever heard that you could possibly get paid to take rides for Lyft or Uber? That's right. Get a cell phone and get paid to take rides as a passenger. What would that be about? How would that work? Let's talk about that today here on the Rideshare Hub. Okay, so first things first, most of you guys out there are drivers. You know what that feels like to be in the daily grind, just to be picking up passengers, dropping them off. But did you know every now and then one of those passengers is actually an undercover recruiter for the other company? So at the time of making this video, obviously everyone knows Uber and Lyft, and there's a new one called Trip. But since Uber and Lyft were the first two on the scene, they both did a lot of cross recruiting. Uber trying to get drivers from Lyft that only work for Lyft to come work for Uber as well. And then Lyft also trying to get Uber drivers to come and work for Lyft, right? So how does that work, and how could you possibly do that? All right, well, there's two things you can do, and I'm going to share this with you because I just love to share the information, and because most people are not even aware about this, and it's kind of a fun opportunity, but I can't guarantee you get this job. I can't make it happen for you. I can only tell you the steps that I took, and then I got lucky enough to be offered this opportunity. And furthermore, if you never get offered the opportunity, because it's extremely rare, it's like a rainbow unicorn for crying out loud, there's a way you can do it on your own, and it's probably easier than you think. Okay, so let's talk about that. Number one, if you're passionate about rideshare and you know your numbers, you know in your market and how it works, and you're able to talk to people and convince them that it's a great opportunity, you're probably already aware that you have a driver code, and you can give this driver code out to a prospective driver, someone 21 or older with a well-running car or access to a car, and you get them your code to sign up. They get registered, and you basically have a new recruit. And then you get paid a bonus, and the new recruit gets a bonus because they use your code. Very important. Always make sure they use the code. And if you forget that, Dylan has some steps where you can actually retroactively get the bonus if you're not too late. Now, when you are not driving and you're going to go out and take a ride, I'm pretty sure you're not going to take the taxi or the bus. You're probably just going to press a button on your phone and request an Uber or a Lyft. Well, check it out. Let's say you're a double agent, so you can recruit for both Uber and Lyft, and you request a ride. You sit in the back there, or maybe sit in the front. I think it's better to sit in the front if you're going to do this, because you're more like a buddy with the driver. Couple things. You want to build rapport. If you're interested in recruiting people just out of the blue, let's say you request the Uber. The guy shows up, he's only got the Uber sticker on his window, and you can see there's no Lyft insignia, nothing pink in his car, nothing that would indicate he drives for both. Just chat with them for a minute. How do you like driving for Uber? Oh, it's great. Do you drive for Lyft too? No, I only do Uber. Great. Well, that's your opportunity. If you want to do some recruiting, you're just a passenger and you're actually paying for the ride off of your own account, right? So you can actually, if you talk to them about it, talk to them about why you like Lyft or whatever the benefits are, then you can give them your business card or give them your referral code or get an email and send them a link. If you don't know how to do that, I've got videos on my channel that explain more in details how this works. Basically, you just recruit them. And this is what many people with Lyft and Uber were already doing before this undercover program rolled out, right? Now, the undercover program, that's a whole nother thing. I was, so excited about the rideshare business. I was doing this kind of a recruiting. So if I was taking just a ride personally, going out to the store or going to a show meeting up with friends, I would do the recruiting I was just talking to you about. However, I had recruited over 25 people, and Lyft had sent me like a special email saying, wow, you're on track to become a Lyft ambassador is what they call it. And I think Uber has something similar, but I don't know because I just was more focused on Lyft. So I got an email saying, we'd like to know if you're interested in being involved in street team events, right? Going out and meeting people on the street. And, maybe sometimes you're at a booth at a fair and you're doing signups there. And that we got paid a pretty sizable hourly pay. I think it was like 20 or 30 bucks and 25 bucks an hour or something like that, to just go out on the street and hand out cards. And of course I had to hand out a generic Lyft business card with their Lyft corporate code, not mine, right? Because you're getting an hourly, and that's the pay that you get. But it was a great chance to get my face seen as I was growing, my public persona with Lyft as the rideshare recruiter. And a lot of other people that are, diehard drivers with Lyft would be there. And, some of these guys were even heavier on the recruiting than I was. Like, I thought I was doing good, making a couple thousand a week. I met a guy, like I had probably done around $2,000 or $3,000 in rider referrals, where I got paid for referring new passengers. This guy had done like 13,000. So he's like 10 times, like, what I was, or 5 times what I was doing, whatever. So, no matter how much recruiting you think you're doing, there's probably someone out there hustling a little bit harder. So you always kind of want to 10x what you're doing, or whatever you think you're doing, go double, triple, do a little more than what you think you need to do, because you'll find, with recruiting people, like 10 people will sign up, like 3 of them will actually get registered, and like 1 or 2 of them will actually do the required trips to get you the bonus. So believe it or not, that's kind of how the numbers work out sometimes when you're recruiting strangers. If you don't follow up with them very well, they usually forget about it. They don't have a lot of incentive to go ahead and do those intro trips. And sometimes they miss out on the bonus permanently because they don't get the intro trips done in time. All right. So that's kind of a tangent, but basically, I did a lot of recruiting on my own, number 1, which you can also do. Number 2, I got an email. I got invited to go down to the Lyft hub. Now, if you don't get an email to go down to the hub office, whether it's the Uber hub or the Lyft hub, you can just personally Google it, go down there in person. They're usually there to help new drivers get registered and hand out like window stickers for people that lost their stickers or don't have them or need to get new ones, and just a few other technical account issues that they help you with. And then there's some people in the back working on stuff. Don't bother them. But what you can do is just go and say, hey, can you please take my information down? I would like to be considered if you guys have any upcoming events, whether it's a parade or street teaming or a booth at a fair, where I could help out and volunteer. And just say that you want to volunteer. There might be a paid gig, but don't go in expecting paid gigs. And for crying out loud, don't pester them a lot. Just go in once, maybe once a month, until they reach out to you and say, we have an event coming up, especially around holidays, you guys, 4th of July. Sometimes I think Martin Luther King Day, we had an event down in South Beach where we were street teaming. So, especially around those holidays, see if you can get the business card for the supervisor that works there, and then get on an email list so you'll be in touch. And trust me, a lot of people turn over. Some people they move out of town like I did, or, maybe they get deactivated for some odd reason and they're not eligible. And what's really cool is if you do get one of these opportunities, you might be volunteering. Chances are it could be a paid gig. They just add the money into your weekly Lyft payout or Uber payout. You don't have to wait for a paycheck in the mail. At least I didn't. So that's really exciting. And once I got involved, right, like I'd go into the office, and like one day we just had like a bunch of boxes that had to be like open, and we had to take stuff out and put them on the shelves, and we had to repack some of them and mail them off to other Lyft offices. And they just needed lots of hands to get this work done. So I went in and did that, and they had like pizza and drinks and food to keep us going and keep us excited. And we did that. And then while I was at this little work party, supervisor was like, hey, come over here. I need to talk to you. I thought I was in trouble for a minute. He's like, no, it's all good. Hey, we have a special opportunity. I don't know if you're interested, but just consider it. We'll get you some special training for this, but you'll get a company phone. You're going to get a code name, and you're basically going to get free rides. You'll get actually paid per each ride you do, as long as you keep your recruiting percentage at a certain level. And believe it or not, when you're actually going out trying to recruit people, and you're on like a number crunch system where you have to be accountable, like, because they can measure the rides you take on your account, and then they can see how many recruits you brought in. And believe it or not, we had like an app on the phone to do the vehicle inspection right there. So I'd be not just recruiting somebody and giving them my card and say, hey, go to Pet Boys and then use my code when you register tonight online, and we'll talk later and I'll give you some tip pointers. I did it all right there. Like, I was the Pet Boys. So I would put their account information on my phone, take a picture of their license ID. Trust me, Uber does this to Lyft, and Lyft does this to Uber. Just trust me. It happens. Some drivers have experienced this, and But what the weird thing is when you're really trying to recruit, you'd be surprised. People put up their guard. So if you don't build a rapport and come across like a friend that wants to help, and you're coming across as like a military recruiter, like, come on, join the army. Like, it's going to be good and you get all these benefits and then you get to go to college or whatever. Like, you can't come at it from that angle because it really turns people off. And when I first started, like, my percentage was like below 10%, and then I eventually got up to like 12, I think maybe 15. So that's like 1 out of every 6 or 7 rides, I was getting 1 recruit. And sometimes there's nothing you can do because the driver already works for both Uber and Lyft, so you can't cross recruit them. There's nothing to do. You just get out of the car and go on to the next one. Sometimes like you would request and you get the same driver coming right back to you and you're like, oh, I should have waited longer. And so it's kind of an interesting system, this undercover opportunity. But if you do want to be even considered for it, you've got to be around the people that can select you. And it's like, you got to have a good attitude, number one, be showing that you're eager and willing to volunteer and help out. And then just be personable. It also helps, I would think, if you're bilingual, because a lot of drivers speak other languages. So if you're bilingual, that could really help you get the opportunity. And if you don't get it, don't worry about it, because obviously there's, like I said at the beginning of this video, there's always opportunities to recruit on your own. So when you are personally going out, taking a ride with friends, I'm telling you, if your driver only works for Uber or Lyft, one or the other, and you work for both, give him your business card or her your business card every single time, and just casually mention it, talk to them about it. If you can get their information, even better, then you can follow up or Facebook friend them, show them the value of working for both. Sometimes one company has a bigger weekly bonus or an easier bonus to get for the week than the other one. Sometimes there's no prime time or no surge, with Lyft, but there is for Uber. So you clock out one, you know what I'm talking about. So, try to show the potential recruit all the benefits they can get, right? All right, you guys. So, I can make a whole nother video on some of the experiences I had trying to do the recruiting and some of the rejection I got, and sometimes the easy stuff that I did, and even getting, helping deaf drivers get signed up, believe it or not. I helped a deaf lady, and that was an interesting thing, trying to get all their information. But I got so many stories. We'll save that for another video. And obviously, if you guys are still thinking about signing up, you watch this whole video, check out Dylan's link below, and check me out as well. I'm the Rideshare Recruiter on the social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I use all those platforms in different ways to help you guys do your best. And I also do some private coaching. Dylan does as well. We can teach you guys some really cool stuff that you probably never heard about before. All right. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. As I like to say, don't just have a great day, make it a great day. We'll see you on the road. Peace.